Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Martin and today we're looking at The Conjuring. So a few people have left this in the comments to pick up on and do a reaction to. It's a film I've been interested to see because it came out. I remember when this came out, it was when horror movies were into this kind of groove of like found footage stuff, and Saw movies had sort of either were still coming out or just finished coming out around this time. Or, you know, it was in that time when horror movies were very much, how can we kill off our stupid characters? And that's what horror movies were at the time. And then I remember this film came out and people were like, oh, there's actual characters in this we care about. And it does scares well. And, you know, it like balanced the whole thing between like the modern scary movie that people were kind of used to at that point, but also gave people characters that they actually gave a shit about, which, you know, I'm interested in. I'm interested to see if this was as good as what people were saying at the time when it originally came out. And it's, I don't know why I had never got around to watching it. I think I'd sort of, even though I was a fan of horror, I just, at that point, I'd kind of got burnt out on like say like the paranormal activities and stuff of the world, and I was just like, this modern horror just isn't for me, I don't think. But then everyone said that this was pretty good and that people seem to enjoy it still to this day, so hopefully it holds up still and it's a good time. We will figure that out very shortly. So let's jump into this, shall we? Jesus, did fucking Christopher Nolan direct this? What the fuck is going on? Jesus.
You did what?
She wanted to live with us by inhabiting the doll. We said
Why
yes.
would you have that
Then things
doll
got worse.
in your house? I stand by my previous statement. It was a bad idea. It's a bad idea to have a doll that looks that fucking weird in your house.
They possess people. He wanted to get inside of you.
Well, that's invasive. If you didn't feel bad enough already about your stupid doll.
But we prefer to be known simply as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
So, yeah, here we go. I feel like this is the part of the true story, is that these two people existed. And that's about as far as the truth of the true story part goes.
Can't wait. Come on, Sadie.
Dog's like, no,
Sadie, let's go.
no, this is bad news.
Hey.
Don't want to go in there. Nope.
All right, suit yourself.
It's an interesting one shot to sort of get you used to the kind of downstairs geography of the house.
Second clap.
I mean, this is a good setup for something spooky to happen either later or now. Oh, is this something going to in the walls? Is this something in the walls movie?
What's going on?
I'll check it out in the morning.
What if I was boarded up?
I don't know.
Oh, I wonder. Like there could be something bad down there, maybe.
Sadie! Hey!
I'm trying to warn you people. Why don't you ever listen to the dog?
Thanks.
Okay. You got a weird bruise somehow? Don't do it. Don't touch the cursed piano. I swear to God, if the dog's dead already. Oh my God. If the dog is legitimately dead already. Well, I'm upset.
Everything you see in here is either haunted, cursed, or has been used in some kind of ritualistic practice.
Doesn't look
Nothing's a toy.
like it's particularly safe. Like it's just locked behind a wooden door.
Well, why not just throw them in an incinerator? Destroy them.
Well, that would only destroy the vessel. Sometimes it's better to keep the genie in the bottle.
Interesting. At least they sort of put something forward about that, because I was wondering, like, why wouldn't you just destroy the items? But there we go. Answered question. Question answered. Positively
So
do
when you
not
guys
open.
investigate these hauntings,
You know better, all right? Georgiana? Come on, did you touch anything?
And that doll
You can't go into this room.
is
no
eyeing
matter
them
what,
up.
remember?
Yes, Dad.
Stop blaming yourself.
There's definitely something going on with them. I mean, there was an exorcism. It's interesting. There's definitely a lot of setups thus far. There's been a lot of... We're up here, and we're going to start dunking soon. I'm just a weirdo who likes to wiggle doors a little bit. Just give them a little wiggle. Maybe stop her from hitting her head on the door.
That's not good. What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
She's got another bruise. She's got another bruise on her. What the fuck is going on here? I'm sort of in two minds. I feel like there's just like someone, a creepy old hillbilly person, I don't know, who is like been locked up in the basement or some shit, or you know, a possessed person who's been locked up in the basement, or an actual ghost demon thing. I don't know. I feel like at this point it could go either way. I feel like my someone in the walls theory could still have some relevance.
You want to see him?
Yeah. How?
With this. When the music stops.
Alright. All these objects need to stop looking so fucking creepy. Like the creepy music box, the creepy doll. I don't like this. I don't like it. The clown.
Boo, Mommy!
Well, that's...
Yeah.
If that is not a setup for something later, I don't know what is. Narnia? Narnia? Is Aslan in there? Hello?
I'm gonna get you now.
No. No. Don't do this. Don't do this. Right, you deserve everything you get.
Ha! You took your blindfold off. I win. You weren't even warm, Mom. I was in Christine and Nancy's room.
Well, some Hattons definitely came out of that wardrobe. Just saying. Oh, that was a cool shot. That was a fucking cool shot.
There's someone behind the door.
What?
Throw a pillow. Someone, please. Well, that's not good.
Pretty sure that it was
What
just a
happened?
bad dream.
Is she? What happened to her?
That it wants my family dead.
Well, let's move. Let's move out of this house. Right. Let's not do that again. What I'm finding interesting about the film thus far is that for a house that's populated by a whole bunch of people, it's doing a good job at making people feel isolated at the right moments. What the fuck? Leave. Get the girls up. Leave. Right, don't stay here. I love when demonic spirits just do things to fuck with people. It's like, there's no reason to it. It's just, I'm just doing this to fuck with you. Like, I'm bored. I need something to do.
Who's ever down there? I'm gonna lock you in now.
Ah, or not. You fucked yourself. That's owie. That's owie time. There we go with the fucking matches. Fuck this. Fuck off.
Wanna play hide and clap?
Fuck off with this shit. Fuck off. Oh, you fucking movie. Fucking movie where it's fucking clapping and it's fucking light matches. That wardrobe's gonna fucking open. We'll just start banging. Oh, what the fuck? It's a zombie! Zombie! Zombie!
Breaks the victim down, crushes their will, and once in a weakened state, leads them to the third and final stage, possession.
Like they're saying, I'm like, there's a reason demons like to fuck with people. There's a reason.
Hey, nice to meet you, Roger. Ed Warren.
Nancy, Cindy, Christine, and April.
They look concerned already.
We also get all kinds of birds that will just fly against the side of the house and break their necks.
Really?
And the clocks stop at 3:07 a.m.
And the dog died.
All of them?
The first
Everyone?
night it died. Not going to mention that part.
You picking up anything in here, hon?
She like psychic of some description, or empathic or something.
And I don't know anybody who's gonna take in a family of 7 indefinitely.
That's why we tracked you down.
We're
I
glad you
mean,
found us.
makes sense.
All right, let's get started.
For all my joking about move out, I mean,
My name is
there's
Ed Warren.
a hard job to
November
move
1st,
this bigger family
1971.
somewhere.
I'm sitting here with Carol.
Yeah, that's definitely not the same fucking ghost we saw earlier. Oh god. She see things that other people can't, I presume?
I saw it first when I came through your door. It was latched to your back.
No wonder she looked concerned, like, immediately.
She ran out to that tree by the dock, climbed up, proclaimed her love to Satan, cursed anyone who tried to take her land, and hung herself.
Well, that's an extreme
Time of death.
response to that.
Nice to meet you, man. So, you're the lucky new cop, huh?
Guess so.
You know you can't shoot ghosts, right?
Take it easy on him, Drew.
How do they convince, like, a police officer to be involved in this? How? What?
That's a nice day at the beach, huh?
How did you know?
Like a peek through the curtain into another person's life.
She's not freaked out by that whatsoever.
I meant so.
We'll give this film credit, like,
Put
it's,
your hand flat on the
like
desk.
I was saying at the beginning, like, the characters feel,
Then take it off.
like, human. Which,
There we go.
in a lot of horror films, modern horror films at least, they often don't. So, congrats on that. Oh my god, what the fuck? It's in the window, it's in the window. That was fucking cool. That was a fucking cool shot. Ugh. 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 Nope, that ain't good, that ain't good.
I'm just feeling a little nauseous, that's all.
I thought I saw
I hear Roger and the girls. 1 minute.
That is some grade A bullshit. Come on, you gotta sense it, you got those powers.
Whatever Lorraine sees, feels, touches, it helps people, but it also takes a toll on her. It took a real big piece.
Something warped a little bit.
Look what she made me do.
Who are you? We haven't seen you.
Ed?
Oh my god. Okay, so did the kid hide in the wardrobe when whoever would try and attack them? I reckon this demon is trying to protect the girl from the evil fucking witch woman. Someone in the walls, I was telling you. Someone in the walls. Well, that's not the best of signs. Yeah. Ow. Oh my Christ. Okay. Ahead. It's got a static balloon. No. I was wondering how the kid was gonna factor into this, because, you know, she clearly was. Now, a demon has the other half of this locket, apparently. Oh, for fuck's sake, the doll's on the move. Doll's on the move. Fuck that. Like, I feel like they keep all this haunted shit in their house, which I understand why. But surely they should maybe, you know, hire a storage container, something, just anything. Not have it in their house with their child.
Carolyn took off with Christine in April. The girl said she smelled like rotten meat.
She possesses the mother to kill the child. That's what she does. She's taking them back to the house. The only way to protect Judy is if we stop this where it started. Otherwise, she's just gonna latch onto us again.
That's exactly why I am going.
You think I'm gonna let you walk into this alone?
Okay, it looks like we're charging into this fucking final act. See what happens.
Get out of the way!
At last, someone brought a gun to this party. That's what we needed. God damn, Jesus!
Gotta get Father Gordon out here.
He's too far away. She won't make it. Look at her.
He's gonna have to do it. He's gonna have to do it himself. Ah. Ah. Oh my god, it's like fucking C-3PO in that Ewok village.
I found her! She's under the house, under the kitchen!
Oh god, not good, not good, not good. Why did you let go of her?
Lorraine, that's it. Get her back.
Remember what you showed me.
Do it, do it, do it, do it. Empath, empath. Did it work? Oh, she's vomiting. She's retching it out. Hey, look at that. Look at that. That's some fucking magic right there. Now move away from the house. We still don't have much of a resolution on how fucking Annabelle doll did its fucking thing. The little boy ghost. Diabolical forces are formidable. Those forces are eternal and they exist today. The fairy tale is true. The devil exists, God exists, and for us people, our very destiny hinges upon which we elect to follow. Okay, that was the reaction to The Conjuring. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. Maybe consider subscribing, but other than that, we're going to talk about the movie. First things, I can absolutely see why people gave this such a leg up in terms of when this came out and what horror movies, like mainstream horror movies, were looking like at the time, because they're absolutely right. There are characters in here who I actually gave a shit about, which was very not the case at the time. That's a perfectly good bit of grammar and sentencing from me. But no, it was good. Like, I cared about the Warrens. I cared about this struggle that that they had with a previous exorcism, which has left them a little bit scarred and reluctant to maybe jump into certain situations. I mean, it makes them more vulnerable, right? There's a idea that if you introduce a character who knows what's going on, they're a little bit too indomitable. They can't really be affected by it. But if you have them come into the situation with a scar, something that has affected them previously, it makes them more vulnerable to this situation. It ups the stakes that there could well be a bad thing that could happen to them. Obviously, the Warrens are based on real people, and I suppose that's kind of the one pitfall of the movie, is that it's based on a true story, right? And the Warrens didn't die here, so then that sort of, you know, that element of it sort of takes away the threat. So how do you inject threat into it? Is you make it more of an emotional, psychological thing. You make it like a change in who they are rather than them actually dying. And I think that stuff was handled pretty well. And like I say, it made me interested on the journey of like how they're gonna approach the situation, as it were. But on top of that, I actually cared about the family as well. Like the family were well performed. They felt like a very like an actual family who are just being subjected to something that's beyond their control, and they're just trying to deal with it. And the movie did a good job at, you know, I was joking throughout the reaction about just move away, leave, do something. But the movie did a good job at sort of explaining as to why that isn't a thing that they could do and, you know, get away with, and, you know, that would just solve it, like burning the objects or moving away. Like, it had an answer for all that stuff. So within the rules of its own universe, it sets up what has to be done in order to resolve this situation, which is good. It doesn't leave it like too loose. Like, there are rules to how their things can be fought against and how they can affect people, and it sticks to those rules, and it makes the whole thing just glued together into a piece that makes sense, which, you know, horror movies can sometimes slip off that beaten path and just go nuts. And here we got something that set itself up, had a lot of little visual cues into what was going on, and paid those things off. And it all came together and made sense in terms of the story that was being told. So, you know, top marks for that. If I had any just coming out of it criticisms of it, some of the CG hasn't held up super well. Like there was some, like the chair being thrown at the Warren's daughter that looked a bit janky, and the sort of blood effects, like when she vomited up the possession, or however that, like when the possession was happening, like when she vomited into her mouth, that was effective. But the very last shot when she was like getting it out of her, that looked a little wonky. So I can't judge it too harshly for the CG stuff, because obviously, you know, this came out a few years back now, and you know, they did what they could. I assume this film probably had a, you know, a moderate kind of budget. It probably wasn't big budget, probably wasn't super low budget, but it fell in the middle somewhere. And I feel for the most part, they, in terms of visualizing what they were putting together here, I think they did a pretty solid job overall. Like they used a lot of practical stuff and to great effect, and rather than heavily relying on any kind of CG and, you know, that kind of big bombastic effects, they just sort of kept it, well, how do we do this old school, how do we do this traditional, and that stuff really works. Now obviously I am aware that there are other movies in this franchise, spin-offs, other Conjuring movies, and I assume that they will delve into some of the things that were kind of left hanging in this movie. Specifically, the big one is how Annabelle got out of the case, if that was linked directly to the two demonic spirits like communicating or something, because the locket was left there, and you know, that kind of stuff. I don't know. So I presume the spin-off movies might touch upon that kind of stuff, or the sequels might touch on it. And there's kind of a loose thread with the Lorraine Warren sort of like what's going on with her and the effect that the exorcism, I should say, has had on her, and where that's going to go as time goes on. Like I feel like those sort of things were left hanging, but presumably when they made this movie, they had no idea they were going to get a chance to do more. So it's interesting that they left some little details there to maybe pick up on later. But it's, you know, seeding, as we call it, just like seeding a few extra ideas in there, clearly showing confidence in their idea here. So I don't know what the case was behind the scenes. Maybe they always planned to do more films, but I don't know. It's interesting though. But I suppose in like terms of scary, like how scary the film was, there were a couple of effective moments. Like the stuff that affected me the most was the sort of practical lighting tricks and all that kind of stuff. That's what like got me the most. Like loud noises make me jump, because I'm a relatively jumpy person. If you blast a loud noise at me, I'm probably going to jump. But it doesn't necessarily scare me so much. But the stuff where you sort of play with lighting and position of people and stuff like that, that stuff gets to me a little bit. So that stuff in here worked really well for me. The only thing I wish I think that maybe the film kind of bit off more than it could chew was they started sort of saying that there were potentially multiple spirits occupying the house. I'm still presuming that the ghost of the little boy was just trying to protect kids. That's what he was trying to do. He didn't seem like evil or malevolent or anything like that. He just was trying to like protect the other kids. I assume that's what was going on. I don't know. I just feel like maybe the movie could have touched on that side a little bit more, because it felt like the way it was done. It was like a quick moment in order just to solidify what was going on, right? Like the Rain sees this ghost of another mother who's killed the child, saying she made me do it, and that's sort of like bada bing bada boo. Oh, that's what's going on. So it's just like this, like it's weird. Okay, I feel like I'm saying two things at once, and I'm trying to get across one point. Basically, I'm debating in my head whether or not that stuff was needed. I feel like the characters are kind of smart enough to put together that the witch would be possessing the mother to kill the kids, to sort of carry on this cycle, right? I feel like they're clever enough to figure that out, and I feel like the audience is clever enough to figure that out. So I don't necessarily know if you needed the extra spirits in there to like solidify that. And I feel like one of the reasons they were there was purely just to add some more scares and keep you on the back foot a little bit. Like, you think you know what's going on, but then you don't, because it feels like this spirit is acting like erratically. Like, sometimes it's doing one thing and then it's doing something completely different. It's like, what is going on? I feel like that was all the intention there really was there for that. So I don't know. It's a not really a criticism, not really a nitpick, because I feel like it has its value. I just don't know if it was explored properly. At least that's just my sort of just directly coming out of the movie and thinking about it as I've just seen it anyway. But I feel that's a very small little thing. But no, overall I did enjoy it. I think it's a pretty solid horror movie, especially for the time in which it came out. Like, when horror movies were, like I've said previously, they were going down a bit of a drain at the time, and I feel like this definitely might have started even the sort of rejuvenation of bringing in the actual characters to mainstream horror movies, because there were small independent horror movies at this time that were doing good things, but in terms of the mainstream like horror movies put out by the big studios and whatever, I feel like this probably did some good groundwork to rejuvenating that kind of energy and vibe to the whole thing, rather than just relying on sort of cheap thrills and stupid characters who you can kill off that, you know, are of no consequence. So gotta give this movie big props for that, for giving actual three-dimensional characters threatened by something that felt scary and was like a true malevolent force, and was all well done. So, you know, gotta give the movie full-on props for maybe inspiring all that came after the fact as well. So to give this one a rank, I'd probably give it a pretty solid 8 out of 10. I feel like it does really good stuff. I think it's a little long, and it could maybe be shortened just a little bit. There's a few bits you could probably just sort of trim down a little bit. But overall, I think it's a very solid horror movie, and definitely lays some interesting groundwork for where the sequels might go. I am slightly worried that because I am going to be doing The Conjuring 2, I'm slightly worried that they're going to fall into the sequel trap of let's just do the same thing again. But we'll see. But I do think that this has laid down some interesting, like I say, seeding for where the future of the franchise could go. So I'm interested in seeing that. But overall, yeah, like I say, solid horror movie. I think some really good performances. The character parts are my favorite parts of the movie. I think they're really strong. The horror stuff, you know, it was sort of like 8% really good, 20% maybe to some of the janky CG and some of the sort of, you know, shall I say, slightly cheaper scares, you know what I mean? You all know what I mean. Those sort of fell a little bit flat for me, but 80% of it is really good. So, 8 out of 10. Solid. Good work, The Conjuring. I think, you did good work in a time when mainstream horror probably really needed it. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. It helps this video get seen by more people. Maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss any future content. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I hope I'll see you on the next one.